Hi guys, my name's Kylie and I am a leader at Wea Middle. So I have not been able to meet too many of you guys because of COVID, but hopefully things will start looking better and brighter and we'll all be able to get together soon because we miss you. But I'm really excited to give you guys this Club Diva today. So I'm going to start off and I'm going to tell you a little story about myself from when I was younger. So when I was a young kid, I could be pretty ornery, and I can specifically remember one occasion where I was 6 or 7 years old and I had really done something to push my mom's buttons. And my mom said to me, she said, "Kylie, disrespecting your parents is a sin. Jesus always listened to his mom." And I was like, you know what, Mom? Like, you're right. Like, Jesus always did listen to his mom. And I think at that moment, that was my first grasp of what sin really was. And disobeying your parents is just one example of sin out of the many. So today I want to help us all understand sin and why it matters. So we're going to start off in Romans, and I'm going to read Romans 1 verses 29 through 32. So I'm going to go ahead and read that. "Furthermore, just as they did not think it worthwhile to retain the knowledge of God, so God gave them over to a depraved mind so that they do what ought not to be done. They have become filled with every kind of wickedness, evil, greed, and depravity. They are full of envy, murder, strife, deceit, and malice. They are gossips, slanderers, God-haters, insolent, arrogant, and boastful. They invent ways of doing evil. They disobey their parents. They have no understanding, no fidelity, no love, no mercy. Although they know God's righteous decree that those who do such things deserve death, they not only continue to do these very things, but also approve of those who practice them." So, in these verses, it mentions gossips, slanders, and God-haters, and those are just some of the topics that we will be mentioning. So I'm going to first start off jumping into sin versus sins. So sin is the disease of self-centeredness, and sins are the symptoms of things that we do wrong. And sins are just the symptoms of a life lived with self at the center of your life, instead of God, like disobeying your parents, lying, gossiping. It's kind of like when you have the flu. You have symptoms like a runny nose, a fever, a cough. And so, like I said, disobeying your parents and lying are the symptoms of your sin. In Romans 1:29, it talks about wickedness. And wickedness is the opposite of justice. And sin is evil, which is the deliberate attempt to harm or corrupt. And this person just isn't just intentionally bad, they also seek out to make others bad as well. Sin is greed, taking whatever one wants without caring about the rights of others. And an example of greed is wanting more of something, like more money, more clothes. And sin is depravity, which is probably the most general term for bad. Depravity is a vicious person devoid of any good quality. Sin is envy, grudging resent, and desire for another's accomplishments or possessions or successes. For example, if a friend has like the new iPhone 12, somebody could be jealous of that phone and want a better phone like their friend. And that is an example of envy, being jealous. Sin is murder. Jesus teaches that people must rid themselves of the very spirit of hatred which issues in such a deed. Sin is deceit, is underhanded, devious actions designed to get one's own way. So sin is basically lying. Sin is malice. Malice is literally evil nature. Always thinking the worst of another. Bullying could be an example of malice. And these things that I just mentioned are all examples of what sin is. In Romans 1:29 through 30, it talks about gossips and slanderers. And I'm sure in school, all of us have heard gossip. And the action of gossiping is a sin. The gossiper spreads ill news about others secretly, while the slanderer openly accuses. And then God-haters are mentioned are mentioned in Romans 1:30. And God haters are people that hate God because he is seen as inhibiting pleasure, and they seek out to make others hate God as well. So while some sins do seem bigger than others, they all cut us off from our holy God. Don't minimize the little sins and overrate the big sins. They all separate us from him, but they can all be forgiven. So put Jesus at the center instead of self at the center. That is all I have for you guys today, but we miss you guys and we can't wait to see you again. Feel free to reach out to a leader. We want to stay connected with you guys, so we will see you guys soon. Have a good night. Go Huskies.